What?
What's going on, everybody?
But,
Hello, it's been a while, hasn't it?
Yes, it has. Well, it's only been a week, I think.
Yeah, no, I think it's been 2 weeks.
Has it?
Because 1 week, yeah, 1 week was the wife's birthday, and then the other week was your kid's birthday.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Hello, welcome all to the Spooky Horror Show podcast. I'm your host, Sean. I'm again joined by Anthony.
Yay!
Today, we are going to be talking about the I believe it's 2023 French home invasion horror film, The Hermits. Again, got to go through all this because, as you said, this was a blind pick. So
100% blind.
I want to remind everyone again. I'll probably end up having to do this every episode just so people make sure, so people don't go, "Why the fuck are you watching like such shitty movies and you're rating them so low?"
Yeah, that was the thing. Yes, I don't want people thinking that we constantly are just critics and fucking dicks about every movie.
Yeah. It's everything this season. So it's like the next 20 films if we don't put like extra shit sprinkled in. The next 20 films were chosen solely based on the box art.
Yeah, the thumbnail.
So like we haven't seen these films before. We're just looking at the box art and essentially we're going yeah, it's like, hey, this box art looks cool. Let's hope the movie is just as good as the box art. Or, oh man, this box art looks like dog shit.
Yeah.
Let's see if the movie is actually dog shit or if it's actually pretty good and they just didn't have the money for the stuff. So that's essentially like the whole point of this season is to look at box art and be like, let's see if this is a yay or a nay on these movies. Before we get into production and plot, I do want to remind everyone that if you want to be part of the podcast live, we record every Saturday, sometimes at 6 p.m. Central Time, 7 p.m. Eastern on twitch.tv/moondog82. If you can't catch us live, or you just prefer an edited version of the podcast, you can search for Spooky Horror Show on YouTube and any and all podcast services. I've added a QR code, so at any point you can just scan that and it'll take you to all of our links for everything, our personal links, the things having to do with the podcast itself, and you can just find all the stuff there. With all of that out of the way, Anthony, how has your we'll say like 2 weeks off been?
Annoying. Just annoying, more or less. My job hired somebody and then they left within a week. No fault of ours, it really isn't. I like where I work, but like, yeah, that's fun. So
it's hilarious. He came in and he was like, "No, I'm good."
It was like, it made no sense. He came in complaining, and then he's like, "Oh yeah," and then out of nowhere he's like, "Oh yeah, I'm going to go back." I was like, "Yeah, you fucking with me? Yeah, okay, whatever." He's like, "No, like I really am. Like I miss working there and all that other stuff." I was like, "Okay, then that was pointless, but all right." Well, just so you know, it's raining here and we have like a weather advisory, so I don't know how well it's going to be. And actually yesterday, what is it, Saturday? Yeah. Yesterday, the power went out at work at least 7 to 8 times.
Shut up.
Okay. I'm not fucking kidding you. I got a message from one of the advisors. They're like, "Yeah, we have no power." I'm like, "Well, do I come in?"
Yeah. Can I stay home? What's going on?
So we get there, there's no power, it comes on. We're good. Goes off like an hour or two later. It just kept doing that all fucking day. It was fucking terrible. And there's nothing you can do as a mechanic. Like the lifts are electrical.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I can't use a flashlight because if I turn around and hit something, they're gonna ask us, "Why were you working in the dark?" They're not gonna the insurance company is gonna question a couple things.
Yeah. And that's the last thing you want is a fucking insurance company getting on your ass.
And then on top of that, people were still, "Oh, are you guys still open?" If there's no lights on and the doors can't open, are we open?
But anyway, let's get into this movie so that we can not have to fucking deal with this shit anymore. These wires are like...
Yeah, I did not watch this for the second time. We normally will watch it at least 2. We usually will watch it and then we'll watch the day of. He said he would watch. I was not watching this movie. I already know in my fucking head I am more than good. I'm disappointed in my eyes for seeing that thumbnail and be like, "Oh, Hermits, that sounds like a good idea." No.
What's even better, because keep in mind, when I first wrote the scripts for all of these, my laptop was broken.
Oh, yeah.
So I was having to write this on an iPad. and not like an iPad Pro, on like the small like base model iPad.
Did it have a corkboard?
A keyboard? No,
No,
I
a
had to buy
keyboard.
one.
Oh, okay.
No.
Because like sometimes they have like the virtual ones.
Oh yeah, the virtual one. I used that for a while. It was awful. So then I bought
okay.
a Bluetooth keyboard that everyone's like, oh, it's amazing, and it was dog shit. It's awful.
Speed to
It was so
text.
bad. It's so. I honestly, I should have just done that. I used to do that on my
Speed to
phone
text.
when I would do stuff. But yeah, so I had to watch this a bunch of times
I am
just to get
recording.
everything written. And then I was looking at it today, going over like the notes, because a lot of names are in French, so I have to try to figure out how the hell they're pronounced. I'm looking, and I'm like, this doesn't look right. There's stuff in here that looks wrong, and I think it's because when I was typing with that shitty keyboard, it wasn't registering every hit. So it's like words are missing, things are misspelled, and I had no idea what was going on. So I had to watch it again just to get everything right. And I was like, I fucking hate this movie.
I see. Honestly,
so far,
listen, it is. This is a French film. It's a foreign film, but
that's
I
not an
want to say.
excuse.
See, I was just gonna say. I want to say like maybe we just didn't understand it, because a lot of people
No.
that do these dubs, first off, they do the dub in a very terrible fucking volume opposed to the actual movie. They like
this is a
supersede the
film-
movie over the
This is a
over
film
the
from
movie.
2023.
It should be a
Why
lot.
does-
There's no reason.
It
for
sounds like it was dubbed in 1970.
That's
Why?
what I mean. It didn't make
Why?
any sense on why it sounded like that.
It's just, oh god, it was. It was.
And we've said it
legitimately
before.
painful.
We don't know if it's actually dubbed the proper way or is it a lost in translation. Because watching anime, us Americans don't get the same impact or the same results as the actual unedited versions. Those ones have a lot more better of a story than our American ones. It's a very lazy way how to like dub it.
But all right, let's get into some production facts. So,
Oh god, it's
The
happened.
Hermits, or what its original title is.
Are you
in
gonna try
French,
this? You gonna try it? You can do it.
Fuck.
You can do it. I know you can.
I think it's Les Autarciques.
Oh,
I
I'm
think-
not trying.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm not
but
trying.
But however, I'm sure if someone French sees it, they're gonna be like, well, that's awful fucking pronunciation. It doesn't even translate to the Hermits. What that word translates to is the self-sufficient.
Which would have made a shit ton more sense when you watch the fucking movie. Are you shitting me?
Because these
Now
people
that
were
kind
not
of got me
hermits.
angry. That kind of got me angry right now. Like, that makes a lot more sense about the movie. The
Yeah.
fucking title is out. I told you. See, Americans suck. The title fucking doesn't make any sense of the name Hermit. We'll get into that.
You literally could have just called it really you could have called it anything else, because even calling it the self-sufficient, I can understand why they'd be like, well, that's just dumb. When you say it in French, sure. When you say it in English, it's like, no. But it's a 2023 French home invasion horror thriller from director Julian Botzanowski. I apologize to everyone if I'm butchering your names.
We're not trying to.
The film stars Adrian Malvison. I think I missed an I in there. Sylvie Tonorelli, Thomas.
Really?
Oh fuck! This is I looked this up before. There's like a British way to say it and an English way to say it, like an American way. I know, but I don't know which is the proper way, because the guy's name is Thomas, and then his last name is either the British sounding way, Lesita, or it's the English version, Lesitor, and I don't know which one.
I don't know. The English version sounds like it's a fucking commercial for some sort of drug.
Yeah,
Like
but it's
Lipitor or
spelled
something?
L-E. It's spelled Lessester. So it's like, I don't know. In British, it's like Lesitor, and then in English, it's Lesser Tor. So I'm like, I don't know, man. And Emmanuel Escoru. I think I got that one.
That's not that bad.
And that's all I really know about this film, because everything else that I have seen about this film has been in poorly translated English from French, and none of it makes sense. So, did you like the box art? And based on said box art, did you think this movie was going to be good or bad?
Yes, the box art is what got me. I picked it because it looked like it might have some sort of thriller, at least a little bit of sci-fi like scare to it. You know what I mean? Like there might be like all these like monstrous like people that are hermits. Hermits being that they take over a home and they don't want to leave the home. They're terrorizing people, trying to something of that fashion. So no, I'm not happy. I'm not happy at all with the fucking title of this. The front of it made it look exactly what you think in your fucking head. And I was like, yeah, we're gonna pick that one. That one sounds like a good one.
It gave you the vibe. The box art gave you the vibe of The Strangers.
That's what it
and that's
did.
Not
it
what
made
you
it
got.
seem like no, that's not what you got.
No, that's
not at all.
That's like the furthest thing from what you get. I did think, just like you, that the box art was creepy, but again, like you said, based on what we actually saw, it didn't convey like anything correctly. The box art made everything look like it was a straight up home invasion movie, which is fine, but then it absolutely was not, which
it just veered.
I'll probably get into a little bit more detail later about that. But then you get the title, The Hermits. And it's like, the title really doesn't make sense either, because nobody is a hermit in this.
No, there's not one. It didn't even make any sense. And if I'm not mistaken, those fucking wackadoos weren't even the fucking house that the whole story fucking takes place in.
No, they were in like a wine cellar.
They're like in a fucking, yes. It made no sense.
A wine cellar away from the house.
It made no sense at all. I have so much to ask questions of.
Oh God. But yeah, let's get into the plot. Oh boy. All right. So, the film opens with an injured woman named Greta hiding in the woods trying to catch her breath. You hear the sound of like a utility knife opening, like being extended in the distance, but still kind of close to her. So she stupidly thinks that it's safe to come out of hiding and go walking through the woods. So she's just like stomping on branches and lazily like
making all kinds
hiding.
of noise.
She's like hiding behind a tree, like, whoa.
Because that's always worked.
I'm just like, Jesus Christ. Yeah, so she keeps hiding whenever she hears someone coming next to her. But you also hear the sound of cars, like in the distance.
In the distance?
But not like...
I didn't catch on.
Not far from the road. Like, they don't sound like they're super far away. So, I don't really know how
Maybe they're
far
close to
off...
a highway? Yeah, a highway?
Yeah. So why is she running from someone in the woods when she could just run to the main road and get in a car? Like flag someone down. It's France. I'm sure they'll stop for fucking hitchhikers. That's what all those like Europeans do.
Maybe.
But she starts running towards at this point, I don't think we can tell if it's a house or a shack.
In the distance, no. Because it's the first part
yeah,
of it.
later you'll get more information and everything, but right now, like, you don't get anything. She trips and falls to the ground when a branch is like jutted out in front of her because she's not paying attention. And then I got really confused because when she tripped and fell, the dude that tripped her with the branch is like immediately on top of her. How the fuck did he get on top of her that quick? Was he just like laying on his belly and just went like
rolled over into her
with the branch and then it's everything like that was weird. But he kills her and then we get the title card. After the title card, we meet Tristan and Astrid, right? Or yeah, her name was Astrid. I hate them with a passion. I do not like them.
They seem too fur-fur.
She looks bored while waiting in the car, and Tristan comes running out of the store. When he gets back into the car, he looks manic as shit, and he's complaining that there were too many people in the store, but he picked up whatever they had. And I'm like, I don't know what any of this has to do with shit. And then it confuses me more when he tells her that he tells her like because I'm like they're heading to a house that he inherited.
Yes.
But after stopping at that house, they're going to his father's house.
Yeah, it was like an on the way thing. They were stopping, I guess, to establish. You know what I mean?
I guess. Basically, he's going to like ask his father for money, I guess. And he's like, I got my father an Arrow crossword. And I had to look it up. It's a crossword book. You're going to your father to beg him for money. And the gift that you bring him after possibly not seeing him for a while he's in like maybe hospice or something. I don't really know. A book of crossword puzzles.
I guess that's what that means. Cross.
That's it. Yeah. I just it's so I don't know. But they start driving again. And this is the other thing, because like he's super manic, like being around all those people.
Yeah, he has social anxieties.
I don't think he does, because when they're
That's what he looks like he has.
It's like when we get like later to it, they're in like a pub cafe thing around a bunch of people and he's perfectly fine. And then later he talks about going to a party and it's completely fine. So it's like, I don't know where, does he have anxiety buying things? Like that just seems weird. And none of it's really explained. So it's like,
well,
I
no,
don't know.
they don't get in depth with his issues.
They probably should, since he's one of the main characters.
Yeah, there's a lot of things they probably should have done.
They hit the road because they still have a long way to drive. They both kind of seem like they're not all there in the head. And while driving, he gets a call about jobs.
Okay.
He begins whining on the phone about all the jobs that to his friend, about all the jobs that like his friend's not getting for him. His friend tells him that like the longer he's out of work, the harder it's going to be for him to find a new job. So his while all this is going on, his friend is basically gaslighting him into thinking that him being unemployed is his fault, which is stupid, because like
isn't he like a manager?
Yeah, you don't just lose skills you've developed working at previous jobs like when you're fired or quit.
No.
It's not like you walk out the door. It's like you leave the shop you're at right now. You no longer remember anything about being a mechanic, so you can't be hired for anything. Like that's fucking stupid. That doesn't make any sense. He was talking about it. He had 3 years in one position and then 2 years at the last position. The only reason he left the last place is because the place went bankrupt. It went out of business.
Makes sense.
So that means he has 5 years of real world experience in all the fields that he has. So you're telling me you can't find your buddy any work
anything
with 5 years of experience? That doesn't make any fucking sense. I don't know if it's a French thing or not, but that was like the dumbest fucking thing that I had. And I was just like, I already don't like him. I don't like the friend that he's talking to. And now we're going to get to Astrid. She's fucking awful. Her mother calls and Tristan immediately tells her to remind her mom that she still owes them money.
Yeah.
Astrid doesn't bring it up. And then her and her mom get into a fight because Astrid lost her job. She was apparently fired and then got into an accident injuring her leg.
Yeah,
I didn't realize.
She's skipping around.
I didn't realize at first because all we've seen her in is sitting in the car.
No, I heard that. I heard the conversation about that
with the mom about the accident. But like, yeah, they don't go into detail about what the accident is. Like, what the fuck are you talking about?
No, you don't know what happened in it.
Yeah, so you don't find out till probably like 2 minutes later about like, oh, she's walking with like a crutch or whatever. But what this does in like the first, I want to say like 10 minutes of the movie, that both of them are out of work, both of them have no money, and both of them are basically acting like beggars.
Kind of,
so
in a way. And he inherited this house, which is, I guess, like their backup plan.
Not even. So let's get to. So yeah, so we find out about her leg and why she walks with a crutch. At the same time, while Tristan is on the phone with his friend, he's telling his friend to help him look for jobs, but don't make him look like a beggar.
What?
But yeah, exactly. Like, I don't get it. That's why
I mean, he's not begging for a job. He's just looking for a job. So does he think it's? I get you. You're giving the impression that your friend is like, can you please hire my friend?
Yeah.
Like, I highly doubt your friend's doing that.
This whole stuff with like being a beggar, that's where I was kind of like, maybe it's a translation thing that we're not getting. 100%
like,
they
think
didn't translate it right. So I just don't know. But Astrid now has to pee. So this is when they stop at the bar cafe thing. And so she can pee and they can get a drink. But this is also where you finally see that, oh, she has a crutch. So it would have been nice to have seen that beforehand. So when you talk about like the accident, or at least like a cutaway to the accident or whatever, but it's whatever. She walks to the bathroom and some creepy drunk dude is like trying to secretly check her out at the bar. There's some weird sounds inside the bathroom. It ends up being absolutely nothing.
In their fucking head.
While they are drinking, instead of just getting back on the road to get where you need to go, they sit around and they chit chat, and he asks Tristan asks Astrid if she has taken her pills. She tells him that the doc said that she can start taking less of them. But then he asks her, is she still around? And then she goes, I'm working on it.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
There's no doctor that says if you're hearing shit, there's no doctor that says you can come down off that.
That's what I'm thinking. Like, if she's hallucinating, I do not believe, and like the meds are the things that are keeping her from hallucinating. There's not a doctor on this fucking planet that would be like, hey, you can take less of those pills that stop you from having like manic episodes and hearing things and seeing things. Like, no doctor is going to tell you that. If the drug was making you see those things, then yes, it'd be like, hey, don't take them. We have to change it. But if those are the meds that are keeping those things from happening to you, no doctor is going to be like, we can lower your dose. Like, no, that's so fucking dumb. That doesn't make any sense. So at this point, they get back on the road, but they're not going to make it to his dad's house in time. So they decide to stop at the house that Tristan inherited. It's super dark, and this is where you realize that this is the same place that Greta died at the beginning of the movie. A little backstory on this house. So Tristan inherited this from an uncle that recently passed, but he doesn't want to live in this house for free. So,
but if you inherited it, how do you not understand the word inherit?
Yeah. So instead, he tries to rent it out, but because it's in like a rural area in France, no one's really renting it. So I'm assuming
it has to be a B&B.
I'm assuming that Greta was renting the house when those people killed her. But it's also making me think from something, I don't think I have it written anywhere in the notes, but I'm remembering it now going through everything. I remember at some point, the crackheads that are living in the wine cellar, they mentioned something about having come to this area to get away or something. Like, it's never really explained. They just seemed like homeless people being crazy. Like, there's never like an explanation like, oh, they're trying to get away from a bad situation, oh, they're like criminals and they're on the run. They just seem like crackheads that are crazy and they're like, we're gonna live here. It's like, that's
and
all
later on it makes
like.
it sound like they fucking have superpowers. I fucking hate this movie.
Yes.
It's so stupid.
Yeah,
it's so stupid.
But it's something that I think the mother said, the mother crackhead, I think they came to this area. They thought because it's rural, no one will pay attention, but the uncle was there. And I think they killed the uncle, but instead of living in the house so that people immediately find them, they live in the wine cellar thing.
Oh, okay.
And then anyone that comes to the property, they'll end up killing and everything, which again seems really fucking stupid because
if you're trying to hide out,
their last known location was that house.
Where's the house?
Oh, this person went missing. They're gonna go to the house. You don't think they're gonna check every square fucking inch of that fucking place? Like, come on. The whole concept of it is stupid. It'd be one thing if like they were there and then they were leaving, but it's like they're hoping to like live there forever. Like, you don't own the property. The owner of the property is gonna fucking come back to the house and like find this shit. And then if that person goes missing, cops are gonna be like, hey, what's going on? And so it's like the whole premise like falls apart once you actually look at like what the fuck's going on. But Tristan can't find the keys to the house. They were supposed to be left in either the flower pot or under the doormat. I'm assuming they're not there because those people took it. So after they get in without the keys, he shows Astrid around the house. She goes to wash up in the upstairs bathroom. She ends up stepping on some broken glass that she should have been able to see the second she fucking walked into the bathroom.
Yells it out.
Yeah.
Watch out the glass.
Yeah, then they eat dinner. And things are weird. And not like weird as in the house is creepy. Weird as in these two people are fucking weird together. Because Tristan says, he's like, hey, don't freak out or be mad, but we'll just call her some chick, because I don't remember what the fuck the girl's name was. Invited him to like a party when they get to like his dad's place. And Astrid's like, don't worry, it happened in the beginning. I'm sure it won't happen again. So I'm like, wait, so
what happened in the beginning?
Did Tristan cheat on her in the beginning of the relationship, and then she's so pathetic and sad that she decided to stay with him even though he cheated on her?
There's no real backstory and understanding of of these two characters at all.
Yeah. After she says it's fine, he tells her that he'll make a deal. That if she trusts him to go out alone, which right there, that's like a clear indicator, oh, he was fucking some other chick while they were together. He'll trust her to only have one drink. So now we've established that Tristan is a cheater, and Astrid
we don't fully
is an
know
alcoholic pill popper. I mean, we do, because she said it only happened in the beginning, so I'm sure it won't happen again. And then he specifically says, if you trust me to go out to this party alone, then that right there is like,
it sounds like it. Yeah,
but then it's like, okay, well then he'll trust her. If she trusts him, then he'll trust her not to get fucking shit-faced while he's gone. So you got a cheater and an alcoholic. These are your main characters. Like, this isn't, I understand in like Europe and France, it's like, oh, we drink wine, ooh la la, and shit like that.
That's not the same.
That's fucking stupid. That's, yeah, like I don't. But it just annoys me that these are the people that we're supposed to be rooting for, and I don't like them. I'm actively hoping that they die, but we'll get to the crackheads living in the basement, and I don't like them either.
No, they're fucking terrible.
So it's like there's no one to fucking like in this goddamn movie, and you should always have characters
one
that
character
you're rooting
you can
for.
read. Yes.
It's just, I don't know. But he cleans up the broken glass in the bathroom because, of course, you wait to do that till later in case someone else goes in. He then takes a shower as she wanders around the house. She's looking in the cabinets and she ends up finding a bottle of booze. She seems like she's thinking about taking a few sips, but then just puts the bottle back and instead goes and washes some dishes and makes some tea. While walking through the house, she spots a guy standing outside across the street under a street lamp, just staring into the house. This is fucking creepy.
All exorcist-like.
Yeah, this is creepy. And then she doesn't say anything to him about it.
Yeah,
Why aren't you saying?
Actually, why wouldn't you mention it?
It was so fucking weird to me. So she doesn't say anything, and then she gets distracted by the sound of a sound coming from the fireplace, I think it was, and then is distracted by the sounds of glasses being moved in the kitchen. So she walks back in there and then heads right back to the cabinet with the booze. We then cut to Tristan coming out of the shower. He can't find his phone. He wants to basically set up an alarm so that because they need to leave like bright and early to fucking get there on time or whatever. And he's like, hey, I can't find my phone. Can I just use your phone?
Use your phone.
And she just goes, good luck. What does that mean?
What does that even mean?
What does that mean?
Do you have no
service?
I
feel, but it's setting an alarm. You don't need service for that.
No,
so I'm
don't.
like, well, maybe looking at her phone,
why don't you
hers
just
looks
go
like
and
a
do
piece
it?
of shit flip phone, So maybe he has like an iPhone or something. I don't know. But it was just
why
like,
does she have a shittier phone than him?
But it's just the fact that like when he goes, hey, can I just use your phone to set the alarm? Good luck. What is that? That's why I'm like, the translation has to be wrong. There's no possible way the translation in this is correct. There's no possible fucking way. Astrid tells him that the last place she saw his phone was in the car, and to not be lazy and go out and get it. So in the middle of the night, in an area that he doesn't know, he goes out and finds his phone in the car, but he's also startled by, I believe the guy's name is Loop, L-O-U-P. Yeah.
Okay.
And now Loop is either mentally handicapped or just completely traumatized by the crackheads. But
yeah,
he has
now that you say they're traumatized, it could be both.
But he has the wherewithal to warn Tristan to beware the ones that smell like ivy.
Which was very fucking weird to say. You mean they didn't smell ivy?
Well, did they ever say that?
I never heard. I don't remember hearing them say, "Oh, why does it smell like ivy?"
I think it's the fact that they hide in like the ivy
cellar
fucking shit. Yeah, that they probably just smell like that now. So when you smell that, hey, be worried, because I do think someone says something about it. I'm pretty sure one of like either Tristan or Astrid. One of them says it. I don't remember which one. Tristan doesn't give a shit and chases him away, and he heads back inside. So they go to sleep. Need to leave early in the morning. As they fall asleep, there's a ton of creepy ass sounds inside this house. It's revealed that someone is actually inside the house.
Dun, dun, dun.
At some point Tristan proposes to her, but like not really. He's like, would you marry me or something? And she's like, what? It was so weird. It was just so weird because you were just talking about how, you were just talking about like, hey, he wants to trust you to be alone and not get drunk But at the same time, it's like, hey, could you
Let's
trust
marry
me
him.
to be able to go out? And then it's like, hey, let's get married and have kids. It's no, fucking stop. Just stop all that. This dude runs out of the house. He heads into, like I said, I keep calling it a basement. It could be a wine cellar or something. Like, it's not attached to the house. It's like separated and everything and underground. I'm thinking it's a wine cellar or something like that. There are 2 other crackheads waiting in there.
Definitely not fucking
There's-
hermits.
Yeah, it's Mama Crackhead and Sister Crackhead. And the person running out, I'm assuming, was Big Brother Crackhead. Ma tells them to just ignore the people in the house. They'll probably leave in the morning. But the crackheads will be crackheads, and they decide that they're not. Yeah, they're not just gonna ignore them and wait for them to leave in the morning. Instead, they're gonna go and attack them in their sleep, because that's what you do. You know, there's people you're trying to hide from, and
you
these
go
people
right
are
up
here.
to him.
They don't have a whole bunch of baggage and shit, so you know they're not staying for a long time. Just chill in the fucking basement and then they'll leave. But no. Astrid wakes up hearing a noise and then goes to check, but stops short and goes back to bed only to find herself bleeding. I guess she had her period? Did she not know when her period was?
I don't know. He was very confused. And then, like,
Right?
didn't he have
Was
to
it a
run out for her?
miscarriage?
I don't know.
Yeah,
It was
like-
very confusing.
She
Because, like I
goes- she
said, I
goes
think
back
it
and
was
tells him.
lost in translation, the
Yeah,
proper,
Because
like,
she goes
scene.
back, wakes him up, and he just goes, huh? Huh? And then looks and goes, I'll change the sheets. You get cleaned up.
Ugh.
I'm like, are we not going to talk? Like, was it just a period? Like, if it was just a period, why didn't she have pads or something? How did she not know when her period was going to be? Was this like a miscarriage that was happening? Like, the fact that like nothing is explained, it adds a whole extra layer of fucking frustration watching the film. And again, like we've said multiple times, this could all just be like a translation issue.
Yeah.
That like
Well, I
shit that
hope.
was actually said wasn't actually translated to English for the people to say. So Tristan is gonna go do the sheets, and then Astrid says that she is starting to get a headache and needs to go get her pills. So she goes to head downstairs, and this is when Tristan is captured by the crackhead guy, and I think his name is Charlotte. I think that's what his name was.
I'm not going to be able to.
Charlot? I
I'm
don't
not good
know.
at pronouncing names like that.
And while Tristan is being manhandled by this dude and knocked out, Astrid is downstairs hallucinating, and even worse, she's being attacked by her
herself.
hallucination, and it's kicking the shit out of her.
Oh yeah,
like-
one end of the room to the other. I was very
Yeah.
confused.
Eventually, she's captured by the female crackhead, well, the sister crackhead, and they go through all of their stuff, and then the female crackhead goes outside. Oh, the sister crackhead, because there's 2 females. Sister crackhead goes outside and slashes all of Tristan's tires because, sure, man, you know, another thing to how you gonna roll it away? You're gonna roll it away on rims? Like someone's gonna come looking for them. Mama and son crackhead are doing something. I don't even really fully remember. And then Astrid wakes up and starts yelling. No, Astrid wakes up, and then Sister Crackhead comes in and starts yelling at her. And she's basically like calls Astrid out on like all of her bullshit to the point that this chick has her number. Like everything that she's saying isn't false. Like
Yeah.
that's like the worst part. But then Loop comes back and attacks Sister Crackhead, but she
Sister
turns the
Crackhead!
tables on him. She starts wailing on Loop, and then she stabs him in the back with the utility knife, but I think it breaks off in his back as
Well,
he's
because
like
they
pushing
break
her away.
easily.
Yeah.
Yeah, remember?
He pushes her away, and she cracks her head on the table, on the corner of the table. Neck broken. She's dead. Good riddance. We don't need her.
We didn't care. Yeah.
Loop goes over to Astrid, and she uses the broken blade to cut the tape that's like binding her. Loop wants them to leave right now. Like there's no reason for them to stay, but Astrid won't leave without Tristan. You're fucking dumb. You're in separate rooms. You don't even know where he is. Just fucking get out.
Just
get out.
leave.
Call the cops.
Save
come
yourself,
back. Like
crazy bitch.
Well, not even so much save yourself. Like there's nothing you two can do
It's gonna save the situation.
against those people. Get out of the house.
They're
Get help,
clearly
and then
fucking
come back.
crazy.
So since she won't leave, they both decide to go upstairs, and they find Tristan bound and unconscious in the bedroom. But hearing Brother Crackhead come in, Astrid
Brother
hides in the
Crackhead.
bathroom, and Loop hides behind the door. As he enters, Loop pounces on him like immediately, gets thrown off of him, and then just as he's about to get stabbed, Ma comes in and she's all like, "Stop fighting," blah blah blah. And then she takes Luke someplace else and ties him up in another room. Meanwhile, the big dumb doofus is trying to break down the bathroom door to get to Astrid. She can't get the window open, so she grabs a broken bottle and hides behind her back. After Dingbat is kicking at the door furiously and like screaming at her, I think he like finally realized, like getting bored just kicking the door, that it's a pull, not push. And he walks in with the knife in hand. He asks her which is the gimp leg because he's good at surgery. And this is when Astrid finally like leaps into action and stabs him in the face with the broken bottle. However, I'm guessing the budget for the practical effects is pretty low
because they didn't show it.
For a dude getting stabbed in the eye with a broken bottle, there is almost no fucking damage to his face.
Yeah, they didn't show anything.
He had a
that
bottle.
Yeah,
it's like what is going on? She runs out of that bathroom. I expected
some gore.
Yeah, she ran out of that bathroom and then runs into, I think, the bathroom that had the broken glass in it. Again, she's not able to get outside, like get out of the house through the window. So Dum Dum Dugan comes in and stabs her to death. I'm gonna have all different names for him because I do not remember how the hell his name is pronounced. But yeah, he stabs her to death. I wasn't expecting this to happen. I was expecting her to probably be the survivor girl. But no.
If I'm not mistaken, nobody survives, correct?
Yeah, pretty much. I expected her to be the survivor girl. I expected her to work through like all her shit, all her bullshit, and then get her alcoholism under control and whatever this fucking inner demon bullshit that's like going on with her over and done with, and she comes out on top. But no, she's just like dead in a bathtub. Like it's like, okay.
Yeah.
So Dum Dum tells his mom that she's dead, but in the tub for easier cleanup, and that he's learning to not be so stupid. Then he, for some reason, throws an insult at his sister. I think he called her a lazy slut. I'm just like, okay, man.
The whole dynamic of that group makes no sense.
I don't know
and
if
they
they're
still
actually
act
all
like they
supposed
have,
to be related,
or if they
it seems like they
have superpowers. They still act like they got superpowers. Like there's some sort of fucking villain.
But Ma tells him that his sister's dead downstairs in the living room and that he needs to go clean it up. So here, I again thought maybe she's not dead. Maybe now that they're all leaving, she's gonna like get some new energy or whatever and recover and push forward. But no, she's still dead. But now Tristan wakes up and he gets free. He looks for his phone, can't find it because Ma took it. He ends up finding Astrid's shitty flip phone and manages to quietly call the cops. And then I think he hears the crackhead mom coming back. So he quickly wraps his hands back up and pretends to still be knocked out. When she comes in, she feels like something's off, but she can't prove anything. So she kicks the bed, tries to spook him.
I don't think I ever remember him wrapping his hands back up. I think I don't.
I think all he did was take it and like do that to like
it made
basically
it
hold it like that.
Yeah, like he still had his hands free, but we diverse.
She even pretended to leave the room to see like, if he'll wake up, but no, he kept playing dead. He was cool as a cucumber. When she leaves, now he jumps into action, first finding Luke and getting him free. Then they go to search for Astrid. They find Astrid's corpse in the bathtub. They haven't even gotten around to dumping her body down the well yet, which they seem to be dumping a lot of bodies and trash down in the water well.
It doesn't smell.
It doesn't smell. Isn't this going to make the your drinking
water
nasty?
You would think, but not in this movie.
Just filled with trash and corpses. Like it's like whatever. But since there's nothing they could do for Astrid, they try to escape, finding the back entrance shutter gate locked. But the key is right on the other side. Now, I saw this and went, oh, that's probably a trap. When you saw this, what did you think it was?
Yeah, I figured that's what it was set up for.
And then what do they try to do? They try to get the key anyway. And what happens? It was a trap. Ma is outside of the gate by the key, and then her fucking dumb son is inside and tries to get them. Loop runs away. And then Dum Dum goes for Tristan, but Tristan makes a break for it. No, Dum Dum goes for Luke. And then while he's like looking somewhere else, Tristan makes a break for it. Ma tells him to ignore Luke and to get Tristan because honestly, Tristan is the one that you should be fucking concerned for. And then as he gets into the kitchen, Tristan grabs the butcher knife and then Dum Dum enters the kitchen and Tristan just starts hacking at him, but not at his face. It's the easiest target in the world. You go for the face, end it
Just
quick.
go for the biggest spot, the body. Just keep going straight at him. Yeah.
He's slicing at his hands, and we
Smallest
get like
fucking
the
thing you can
weirdest
pick.
fucking camera movements. It's like, what? They didn't have the money to show the stuff happening, so it's just like a whole lot of It's like, I don't know what you're doing. The dumbass son is dead, and then Ma comes in with a knife to Loop's neck and tells him to drop the knife, and he actually does it. Why?
Because he's
You
an
don't know
idiot.
this dude. You don't know him at all. Then they're interrupted by a knock at the door, which conveniently is the back kitchen door that the cops are knocking on. She tells him to get them to leave or she'll kill Loop. Okay. Again, he doesn't know him. No. Open the door and be like, in you go. Instead, he opens the door and gets them to leave. What? Why? You open the door, you go, hey, her and her fucking kin fucking killed my girlfriend, and she has this dude held hostage. What is she gonna do? The cops are going to rush in. Maybe she slits Loop's throat, but then the cops are just going to shoot and kill her.
Yeah.
Case solved. Sell the house, make a ton of money, move on with your life.
Tell me
what
those
is going on?
cops didn't look like really bad Miami Vice cops.
Yeah. She tells him to, after the cops leave, Ma tells him to just wait in the kitchen. She's going to go take Loop and tie him up in the tool shed. And in the morning, she'll be gone and he can go about his life. She leaves. And then he sneaks out the kitchen window, stealthy like a cat, makes his way down to the tool shed and finds a whimpering Loop tied up with a bag over his head. He hears his phone alarm going off, and that should be a clear indicator that that's no goo. When he turns back around, Ma's standing right there and guts him with the fucking utility knife. The next morning, Loop wakes up and finds himself untied and walks out of the tool shed to find Tristan's corpse just on the ground. He continues to just walk away when the cops from last night show back up because they knew something was fucking not right.
It seemed all fucking sketchy. They knew. Like the one time they actually want to do their jobs, they knew.
I don't know why they left at all. I would have just been, okay, have a good day, and then let them shut the door, and then just like look in the windows, like what's going on.
The one time they don't try to push their way in, right?
The cops stop him, and Loop has now gone like completely nonverbal. But they find Tristan's corpse, and the utility knife is in
his
Loop's
hand.
pocket.
Yeah, his pocket. That's it.
So they arrest him, and as they bring him to their car, he spots Ma watching from the bushes. And I really fucking hate when a film fucking does this because it's stupid and it doesn't make any sense. It's a freeze frame, and that's where we end on freeze frame, and that's the end of The Hermits.
It's a terrible movie.
What are your now spoiler-filled thoughts on the Hermits? Since there's no fun facts.
Spoiler-filled. I fucking hate it. I hate the movie so much. I mean, we've had much worse on our seasons, but this was like an absolute unnecessary movie. Like, I feel like if it was an American non-dubbed and all that movie, maybe we would understand it better. But it made no sense with these weird fucking people in the basement. They're not hermits. That's not really what hermit means. I don't get what their whole fucking thing is. Yeah.
Like why are you there?
Why were they there? There's no backstory on them. Their
like, if anything,
relationship seems flimsy.
I feel like if anything, they would be squatters, and squatters are different than hermits. So.
If anything, if anything, I'm a hermit. Like someone that doesn't go out much. They don't do nothing. They stay home. You know, like a homebody. That's what a hermit is. Not someone that's in your cellar fucking with some super weird power. Didn't they glow green at one point? Didn't I see a hue of green? At some point, they made it sound like they were fucking not superheroes, but like some fucking weird mystical powered people.
Yeah,
they weren't.
I didn't like this movie. Like this was probably the first, because I think I've gotten 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I got 11 of the 20 films this season. Like plots. Done.
Oh, okay. Yeah. You
so
were saying that.
So the first 11 are done. This is by far the worst out of all of them. I would rather so far have to sit through One More Time for the Camera and Real Cases of the Shadow People than have to sit through this movie again. Like, that's how bad this movie is. And it's like, it sucks because the sound design in this was really good. The musical choices that they made was really good.
Sucked.
Yeah, it was the dialogue, the camera movements, and the acting was just awful. I don't know how you could really call this a home invasion like horror film. The killers technically have a key to the place. The
Yeah, they're
owner
already in
doesn't, you know? And technically, Tristan and Astrid are the ones that broke in. I think this was the thing that really made me sit and go, maybe we have to reevaluate how we
Grade them?
look at these films. Because while
Thorn and Domestic style, like that.
Well, as I'm like looking up stuff on this film and trying to find things, I come across a review from UK Film Review. Essentially, what it says is this film contains what one would expect to find in a home invasion thriller. Dangerous people, good-natured victims forced to defend themselves, and a desperate fight for survival. Ultimately, there is nothing here that has not been seen before. Nevertheless, this feature is tense, the plot and acting are intriguing, and then they trail off. No. What is this person talking about? These people aren't dangerous. They're fucking stupid. The victims are not good-natured. They're terrible fucking people. Tristan cheated on his girlfriend, and then they decided to stay together for some stupid fucking reason, but she never really trusts him, and she's an alcoholic and a pill popper, so he doesn't trust her not to just get fucking drunk and get into another fucking accident or something. The only good person was Loop, if that's what his fucking name is.
The silent kid, yeah.
Yeah. And then what happens? At the end, he fucking takes the blame for fucking everything, and he's gonna end up in prison where he's probably gonna get butt raped.
And no one's gonna fucking believe him.
Yeah. If he ever talks again. So it's like, what are you talking about? That this movie has dangerous people and good-natured victims and shit. What fight for survival?
It really wasn't a fight for survival.
The chick put up a fight once and then immediately got killed. The other guy, the time where he could be like, we're putting an end to this, he's like, okay, bye cops, and then shuts the fucking door and then just turns his back on her. Like, it's just, no. This was, if you want a good home invasion fucking horror film, just watch The Strangers. Just watch that.
Just watch Strangers.
Like, that one is so good.
As fuck.
And it's the whole reason when we were looking at houses, we didn't get something with like a shit ton of land where
because you're not gonna be able to see them all the way at the other end.
Yeah, I want to be able to see my neighbors, and if something happens, I can scream for help and someone comes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't want that shit where someone's being like killed in your house and you're screaming for help and they're like, well, I didn't hear a thing last night. I heard the critters walking around. But yeah, don't watch this film. This is like 100% a fucking, this is a 0 out of 5.
Or if you're in the same country as it and not have to watch it in English or dubbed, maybe it might be better for you.
If you're French speaking, watch in French and then the English version, so that
tell us
you can like
it's the same.
Explain to us like maybe we're missing something, because a lot of this just seems not right. But yeah, for me, it's a 1 out of 5. Do not watch this. Do not waste your time.
100% never want to watch this again.
So this is the trailer for next week's film from 2020. It's Unknown Visitor. It's a door like security camera found footage horror film.
Like a ring.
Yeah.
I don't have a lot of hope for this.
I think it'll be good. Yeah, that's the film. You can find it on Tubi, you can find it on Amazon, you can find it on all those sites. It should be good. Like the other things that he's done have been good. So it's like, yeah, but that is it for tonight's spooky episode. Spooky episode. Spooky Horror Show podcast. Thank you everybody very much, and we will see you all next time. Bye.
Spooky.